Hey everyone, today on People Now, find out how Prince Jackson is helping bring food to LA communities.
Plus, stories to make you smile, a family making a difference fostering puppies during the pandemic.
Farm life selfies from Gigi Hadid amid pregnancy rumors with Zayn Malik.
Joe Alwyn gives fans a sneak peek into his isolation life with Taylor Swift.
Also today,
I'm more of a flirter.
LuAnn de Lesseps gets real about her dating life and what's ahead this season on Real Housewives of New York.
That and more today on People Now. Let's go.
Everyone, welcome to People Now. Happy Thursday. Good to see you. I'm Jeremy Parsons here in New York. Hey, Andrea.
Hey, what's up? How are you, Jeremy?
I'm good. You had a big night last night, Survivor party.
Yeah, I emceed this Survivor event. It was a lot of fun. We had around 250 people on Zoom, so it was a little stressful. And then I watched the episode this season. It's all winners. It's incredible. I'm loving it. Jeremy, I don't understand why you're not on the Survivor train here.
I don't want to think of you as a celebrity. I just want you to be my friend, so I can't do it.
I'm not on the season. You could watch this season.
No, it's too close. It's too close to home. Too close to home.
I've been enjoying it, and it was really nice to talk to some Survivor fans. But we have a lot to get to today, starting off with this.
Prince Jackson has been giving back to the community during the coronavirus pandemic, and he hopes his late father, Michael Jackson, would be proud.
Yeah, in an interview with Entertainment Tonight, Prince says this about his father, quote, "I think this was one of his main goals, not only to spread his message of positivity and happiness, but to see it enacted in his kids." Prince goes on to add, "As a father, I think that's what you want to do when you raise kids. You're preparing them for the world and the type of person they're going to be."
Earlier this month, Prince posted on Instagram about a partnership with Fresh and Lean, writing in part, quote, "Not only are they helping us bring much needed food to underserved communities, but they are made with organic ingredients. I can't wait to show you all the great things that we can bring to LA when we work together."
Prince tells the outlet that he thinks we all need to help each other right now, and his desire to give back comes from the way that Michael Jackson raised his children. Now, Prince also says the Jackson family is holding up and doing well during self-isolation. He's been in touch with his siblings and his grandmother, Katherine Jackson, from a distance.
Yeah, and he also talked to E.T. about how he'd love to bring back We Are the World with Lionel Richie and during the pandemic and kind of maybe to raise more support. I think that would be really cool if that happens, so fingers crossed.
Gigi Hadid is giving fans a behind-the-scenes look at her life at home on the farm in new Instagram pictures. The supermodel shared a few snaps on Wednesday, hanging with her sister Bella Hadid at their farm in Pennsylvania. The sisters participated in Vogue's new Creativity in Crisis portfolio and Postcards from Home series, in which models document their lives social distancing amid the coronavirus pandemic.
Gigi told the magazine, quote, "We are sending love and strength to everyone, especially those who are suffering and the people on the front lines." Bella shared that isolating has been hard for her since she's a workaholic. She reveals that she started tie-dyeing shirts to raise money for single mothers who are struggling right now.
The Instagram post come just days after rumors began circulating that Gigi is expecting her first child with boyfriend Zayn Malik. Multiple outlets are reporting that Gigi's mother, Yolanda, confirmed the news to RTL Boulevard. They report that Yolanda is still shocked, but that she says, quote, "I'm excited to become a grandmother in September, especially after I lost my mom so recently."
Last week, Gigi celebrated her 25th birthday at home with Zayn and her family. The former One Direction star wrapped his arms around the sisters as Gigi happily held up 2 and 5 balloons outside on a deck. Really fun way to celebrate while everybody's in isolation.
Married at first sight couple Jamie Otis and Doug Hayner have finally agreed on the perfect name for their baby boy on the way. And they revealed it on Tuesday through a game of Hangman, which they played with their 2-year-old daughter, Henley Grace.
Let's take a little look at the moment the name was finally unveiled. Watch.
What's the letter that?
What is that? Hayes!
This is baby Hayes.
Hayes.
This is your brother, Henry Hayes.
Should we do Hangman for the middle name?
It's Douglas. Hayes Douglas. We're not going to put you through that.
What an adorable reveal. I love it. Jamie, who is 38 weeks pregnant, also shared these pictures on Instagram of the moment they announced the name, revealing they've been going back and forth with names for pretty much her whole pregnancy.
She explains that she and her husband like names that began with H, but initially considered honoring her late father. They eventually decided against that option, and we like Hayes. Great choice.
She revealed that their struggle to land on Hayes was a lot different from deciding their daughter's name. Henley Grace was an easy choice for the couple because, as Jamie puts it, the name has so much meaning.
Here's the story. After Jamie and Doug were married at first sight, Jamie couldn't remember her new husband's last name, Hayner. The next morning, she guessed Henley. They laughed about it then. Now it has a permanent place in their family. I love that.
It's really funny. As for the middle name, Jamie considers Henley Grace her saving grace after the couple lost their first child, Jonathan, during pregnancy at 17 weeks.
Jamie ended the post about Hayes saying, quote, "Now I can't wait to see his face soon, so soon."
Taylor Swift's boyfriend, actor Joe Alwyn, shared a rare look into his private life on Instagram stories Wednesday night. Like many people staying at home right now, Joe indulged in a glass of wine and snapped a selfie with his glass of wine. I mean, who hasn't done that, Jeremy?
Who hasn't, but he now did. Then he shared that he's been passing the time by drawing and showed off some of his sketches. Those included some portraits. But T-Swift fans everywhere were most excited by this. Joe shared some sweet photos of Taylor's blue-eyed cat, Benjamin. In the first photo, Benjamin's peeking out at him from inside of a paper bag. Super cute.
I mean, that cat has the most amazing eyes. Later, Benjamin can be seen peeking out of a white box instead. And in a third photo, Benjamin somehow found his way under the rug. I love these pictures. They're so adorable.
By the way, very few cats that we would do full stories on, only T-Swifts. Joe and Taylor began dating in the fall of 2016, which she confirmed in a diary entry from the deluxe edition of her album, Lover. Now, while the couple has kept their relationship pretty private, Joe made a brief appearance in her Netflix doc, Miss Americana. Taylor was seen running into Joe's arms backstage after one of her concerts.
A source told People in August of 2019 that Joe loves acting but doesn't want to be a celebrity. And the source added, they both agree that for the relationship to keep working, they want to keep things quieter. It makes a lot of sense. Now, recently, the couple and their cats sent Taylor's friend Gigi Hadid a bouquet of pink, red, and purple flowers as a gift for the model's 25th birthday. And we love getting to see these little glimpses of their life together.
All right, guys, we all need heartwarming stories these days. And in today's Stories to Make You Smile, we have not one, but 3 families doing their part to make a difference during the COVID-19 pandemic. It's all part of PeopleTV's Kindness and Courage Coronavirus in America series.
I really love these families and these people. Hemi Haynes and her 83-year-old mother, Jessica Kim, are sewing and donating masks to medical personnel all over the country. The mother-daughter duo are from Colorado, and they told us how the idea came about. Watch this.
I remember about 6 years ago, my mom couldn't let go of all her fabrics and elastic that she used to have from the sewing business. So we had to store boxes in my basement, my house. So I went down there, and the very first box opened was 9-inch cotton fabric and spools of elastic band. And I just couldn't believe it. So I cut it up just the way that CDC recommended, and I started sewing by hand because I don't know how to use machine shell. And I was telling my mom about it, and she said, "You are just too slow. Bring everything to my house and I'll make it." So she made so far, actually since the news went out, I think she's up to 800 now, close to 1,000 really. But
I'm glad all they can help another. So it's very big proud.
She's very proud of herself.
They make a great team. And in San Jose, California, pizza shop owners Deanna and Albert Valores decided to help vulnerable elderly people by delivering free pizzas to those over 70.
The couple told us what kind of reactions they got from the people they helped and how it was a quote from Mother Teresa that inspired them. Watch.
The quote that I probably get it wrong every time, but it's more is that you don't have to do great things, just little things with great love. And we've always done that in our community.
A couple people have cried. Some they tell that's, and then it makes me feel like crying. They really appreciate it, and sometimes they'll want to give us money, and I know that they can't afford it. And I'll say, no, we have donations to cover this. Don't worry about it. We will be carrying this forward. We're doing this because we want to do this for you.
The couple also told us that people from around the world are contacting them to chip in.
All right, I love this next story. Noelle Ewan and her family responded to an urgent email from the San Francisco SPCA looking for foster help. They ended up taking in 3 puppies who needed a home during the coronavirus pandemic.
Noelle told us why fostering animals during the pandemic is such a great idea and what it's like to be in isolation with puppies. Watch.
They've added a lot of joy, actually. They add a little bit of, mess and noise, but they've been super fun. And, we go downstairs, we go play with them, and we just laugh, and it takes our mind off the worries, and it's just so fun and funny and cuddly, and nothing can be so bad when you're holding a puppy in your arms. I think that this is a really great thing to do, taking care of the animals, and in general, fostering anyway is really great because we take these animals and they're small, and we help to socialize them, and we help to make them healthy, and we can give them medicines, and then they can go to good homes. And so that always feels really good. And especially during this time, you know, we're all at home, so we have time to spend with our pets, and so we can give them some love, and they can give us some love, and it's a great, it's a great thing.
I mean, the puppies are so adorable. A great way to bring smiles to everyone's faces. All right, for more inspiring stories like these, you can check out the Kindness and Courage series on PeopleTV.
All right, stay with us. LuAnn de Lesseps is spilling the tea on all things Real Housewives of New York City. Plus, she was our very first interview when we started doing the show from home. And now, actress Laura Benanti is back on People Now, telling us about her new at-home concert series. Stick around.
Many businesses have been hit hard by the coronavirus pandemic, but some business owners have been able to shift gears in order to help those on the front lines. And that includes fashion designer Siriano, who's been producing masks after a plea for help from New York State Governor Andrew Cuomo.
People Now producer Stefan Doino caught up with Christian, where he explained why he wanted to get involved and how he was able to turn his couture fashion house into a mask donation factory. Watch.
We haven't sold a single mask. We literally donate every single one. So we've done 20,000, we've donated them all. Because that was really always the goal. It was never to like make this a business. I just was like, let's help people as much as we can. Yeah, so that's kind of why it all started. My best friend works at New York Presbyterian, which has the most cases in New York. So I was like, I couldn't listen to her stories every day and then like not help a little bit. So that's really where it came from.
When Governor Cuomo tweeted out asking for help, you reacted so quickly. I mean, what was the first thought that went through your mind?
Yeah, I mean, I was watching Cuomo every day, and I think he is very inspiring. And I think, you know, dealing with a massive city with, you know, 12 million people in it, and like, which is wild. So I just was like listening, and I felt like this kind of call out, like, we have no product and we don't make anything really in the US, and all of those things. I was like, well, I make things. My studio is completely closed. We could maybe try something. So really it was kind of like at first a very naive thing, like, can we help? Could we make something? And I just tweeted, I felt like, well, if he answers or someone answers from the team, why not? So it doesn't hurt. And that's kind of like always been my mentality. I'm like, well, it doesn't hurt to try. So, and they responded within like less than an hour. And we've been working with them ever since. Like, the governor's team has been amazing. We just had a call with them today, which is great.
So tell me a little bit more about how the operation works, what the day-to-day looks like for you and your team.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild to turn my like couture making studio, where there used to be making, you know, $20,000 dresses, into a mask factory is very surreal. It's really wild, because it is a lot of work. Actually, it's monotonous work. It's you know, and there's a lot of things that go into it. We wanted to make sure that the product was, you know, right, that it was going to be usable, breathable, wearable. We wanted it to be washable. So all of those things, we were like, how do we do this? And we don't work every single day. We'll work about, you know, 3 to 4 days. We give the team a little bit of break, but the governor's team was amazing. They, you know, let us open for essential work, and yeah, we've just been churning them out.
Christian's been churning out about 1,000 masks a day and up to 10,000 per week, which is so impressive. He says the experience has been extremely rewarding, and he's been using about half his usual staff to get this all done.
We kind of like decided like who wants to work. Not everybody in my company felt comfortable coming in every day. So that was a big challenge. So it's about 11 of us, maybe a little bit more, 13 people. Yeah, and it's an assembly line. It's really amazing to watch. It's kind of like one person cuts, one person sews this, one person sews that. It's a full-on mask factory that we had no idea what to do. So we learned a lot quickly.
It's a whole new world for you, but
yeah.
So you touched on this a little bit before. You're actually working with the governor's office. What are some of the precautions that you had to take before starting this whole initiative?
I think we just wanted to, you know, we wish that we could make, you know, the N95 mask, and we wish we could make more protective things. That takes so much legal such a legal process to get there. So we're really making, what we're making is really more for peace of mind for everyone that, is on the way to work, if you work in a hospital, or someone who wants to put it over on top of their N95 for extra protection. So that was very important to make sure that the governor's team told me like what we can do. Every mask has a label that kind of states, that you can still get the virus from it. We're not protecting that way. So that was kind of the challenge, to make sure that we could help, but as much as we could, but it's not like a full protective mask, which we wish it was.
Christian has never been one to shy away from helping others. He's a Time 100 honorary for his attention to body positivity and size inclusivity. Christian says that he's not afraid of taking risks. He isn't one to seek another person's approval.
I think like I'm not really afraid of things. Like I like to take risks. I like to try new things. I also don't always really need approval from people to like think that something is successful or I'm doing something good, which a lot of people, especially when you're running a business, you need. But I own my company. Like I don't really have a boss overseeing what we do. That definitely helps. I'm kind of able to kind of just do what I want to do. And I think that that's always what it's been. Like I am curious about things. I always want to support things that I think maybe are not out there in the world. I mean, that was kind of what happened with Curvy Girls on the Runway. They just weren't available. There were no model agencies offering up women who were other sizes, which I thought was crazy. And then there slowly became that, and I was like, well, we should use them. So that it was just like, it's such an easy thing to think about. I think that's the biggest thing too. I try not to make it a goal that I have to do this. I just like to do it. And if it works out, great. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. Like the mask project. I mean, if the governor could have never answered me, and if he didn't, we never would have started the business probably. So, but he did, so it worked out, I think I live that way, I guess.
Well, I think everyone's really grateful that you're doing this. And I think it definitely, inspires many people. So that's great. And, on another note, small and large businesses around the world are all in a very difficult position. How are you tackling business strategy right now? Do you think we'll see a fashion week, or what do you feel?
I don't know. I mean, that was a big part of why I wanted to help too, because like I felt like all of my entire team was at home, not doing anything, not being able to make money. I have a lot of employees that like make an hourly wage. They have families, 4 kids, and I was like, what can I do for them? This was also a way to keep their jobs a little bit. And I hope everybody's figuring out new ways to make money. I mean, I sillily just I like to paint, and I was like, well, maybe we can sell a few, and if that can literally help our team buy lunch every day, great. I mean, if it can help more, awesome. That's like how I hope everybody is treating it. Like, and also there kind of are no more rules anymore. You need to do any business has to do what they have to do to keep it going, because it's really hard. It's wild though, like what kind of 2 months did to like the whole fashion industry is very intense and kind of scary that it puts it a lot into perspective. I think like this idea of, I think clothes are still important. I think fashion and fantasy and dreamlike things, aspiration is still there. I think that should be still there because it makes us feel good. But I definitely think it will change. I don't think like certain things will mean the same thing. I mean, I don't know. Certain celebrities aren't going to mean the same thing to you if they wear something on a red carpet, or like, I don't know, shopping in the same store that maybe didn't support people during this. I wouldn't want to shop there. So things like that. I think people will be more invested in brands that they believe in.
And we definitely believe in what Christian is doing. You can help Christian's goal of making masks for those on the front lines by donating at christiansiriano.com.
All right, 10 years after finding his voice on Glee and a year after following his heart to the altar, Darren Criss is reflecting on who he is in this week's issue of People. And his time of reflection comes at a sad time for him and his family. 3 days after his interview with People, Chris's father died from a long-time heart condition. Chris shared the news on Instagram Monday with a series of photos of his father and a message writing in part that he was as deliriously charming as he was relentlessly selfless. We're really sad to hear.
Well, a bright spot for Chris is his career and the many accomplishments that go along with it. He's earned an Emmy, a SAG Award, and a Golden Globe. And he says he feels like he's now old enough to have accomplished some of what he's hoped to do, but young enough to still have a litany of things on the horizon.
Chris has been working on 2 new projects close to his heart. He's set to star in, executive produce, and write songs for a musical comedy series on Quibi. It's called Royalties. He'll also star in Glee creator Ryan Murphy's latest Netflix drama called Hollywood.
Chris's character in Hollywood is a half Filipino aspiring director, which couldn't be more relevant for him. Recently, Chris began speaking out more about his biracial identity. Chris's mother was born in the Philippines, making him half Filipino. Chris says he's always been proud of that.
And when thanking his mother from the stage at the 2019 Golden Globes, Chris says it's as if he came out as half Filipino. And because of that moment, he says, quote, "I'm closer to my identity than I ever was before."
Well, meanwhile, his marriage has been changing him for the better. He met his wife, Mia, through mutual friends in 2006 and began dating her in 2010. Chris admits, quote, "The idea of marriage wasn't something I gravitated to earlier in life. I dragged my feet." I think a lot of people do. Eventually, he realized that keeping Mia by his side was crucial. Their wedding in February of 2019 was, quote, "one of the most incredible events of Chris's life."
In this week's issue of People, actress Jane Krakowski is opening up about motherhood, female friendship, and the importance of moxie. Jane credits her parents Barbara and Ed for her can-do spirit. She says, quote, "Giving your kid confidence that they could do something, whether they're qualified or not, is an amazing gift."
The New Jersey native also reveals that prior to her breakout role as office assistant Elaine on the 90s drama Ally McBeal, she landed a role on the soap opera Search for Tomorrow, which Jennifer Aniston also auditioned for. And then a decade later, auditioned for the role of Rachel on the iconic sitcom Friends, which eventually, as we know, went to Jennifer. Jane says that she may have gotten the job for Jennifer's first audition, but things still turned out pretty well for Jennifer.
I guess so, but for Jane too, though, she starred in a number of successful shows, like The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, which is returning to Netflix for an interactive special on May 12th, and of course, the Tina Fey-produced series 30 Rock. Jane has built a meaningful relationship with Tina and calls her one of the all-time great women, and says the two can talk about work, kids, and their lives. Plus, she says Tina also hires her, which is nice.
Yeah, very helpful there. Jane shares the time she was putting together a baby shower wish list in the makeup room at 30 Rock. She was contemplating whether she should add a baby wipe warmer to the list after thinking, who wouldn't want a hot wipe on their butt? But Tina told her, once you start doing hot baby wipes, you can never go back. She says Tina continued and she said, think about a day in the car where you can't have a heated wipe, so don't do it.
Yeah, same advice for me. We got rid of ours almost immediately. Nothing like a good friend there, giving you the honest advice.
The new season of The Real Housewives of New York City is underway. And before a new episode airs tonight, one of our producers, Sam Belikoff, caught up with LuAnn de Lesseps to hear from the Countess herself all about the season ahead and get some updates on her love life. Take a look.
So in recent episodes, we saw you flirt in the Hamptons. Overall, who would you say is the bigger flirt, you or Ramona?
Oh God, it'd be pretty even, I gotta say. You know, Ramona is more of a dater. I'm more of a flirter.
So
yeah, Ramona goes on endless dates. That's something I'm not too interested in.
You spoke recently about being single and going on Raya, the celebrity dating app. Who are some like dream celebrity matches for you?
Ooh, Bradley Cooper, Liev Schreiber, and Hugh Grant.
You also mentioned about maybe going on a socially distant date, walking on the beach. Did that end up happening?
You know what? He's been after me to go for a walk with him on the beach, so I think I'm gonna go. I was gonna go today, but I wanted to talk to you instead. Maybe tomorrow.
What's your dream man?
My dream man is tall. My dream man is extremely handsome with a lot of hair.
We got LuAnn to break down all the New York City drama, including what she's most excited for fans to see this season.
I'm excited for them to see our trip to Mexico, which is great fun. There is, it's epic proportions, this trip, and I think people are really gonna love it. We have a lot of fun. There's always drama, of course, but it's a lot of fun, and I think people are really gonna enjoy the ride like they enjoyed the pool party.
Can you tease what flavor the drama or wildness will be during the
Well, I must say that, I don't fall into a bush, but I do run into a couple of men. So So that's fun. You know, we just had a blast. We went to some really fun places, and there's, you know, a lot of drama in between all of the fun. And so I'm looking forward for everybody to see that trip to Mexico.
Is there anything you're anxious for fans to see?
No, not really. I must say this season really is about redemption for me. I mean, the last 2 years have been hell. And so this season's really, you see me get back in the driver's seat and, you know, and take charge of my life for once. You know, this last couple of years have been so hard. So I feel like I'm hit the reset button, you know, back on my game.
Yeah. Speaking of the last couple years, you know, we know that you drink again this season from the trailer. You've spoken about it.
No, honey, it's all vodka.
Oh, it tastes so good.
That first time you drank on camera, what was going through your head? Like, were you nervous that viewers or ladies would judge you?
You know what? I wasn't nervous that the ladies would judge me. I knew that they wouldn't because, you know, they like to drink just as much as I do. I was, of course, worried about what people might think. And then again, you know, they haven't walked in my shoes the last 2 years. So, you know, it was a moment for me to say, look, you know, I can decide now what I want to do. And if I decide I want to drink socially and responsibly, then that's my decision to make. So that's what went down.
What would you say was the most surprising thing you could tease for yourself or upcoming ahead about Leah?
She will be throwing other things than tiki torches.
At other housewives?
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. You're like, perfect.
There's a moment in the trailer where you yell,
"My show is tried and true. You."
Are the ladies coming for your cabaret again?
Oh, yes. I mean, they won't give up on my cabaret show. You know, I think Sonia was knocking my show and Dorinda was like defending her. And I was like, come on, girls, you know, and that's why I say my show's tried and true, and it is.
You went home before the ladies' wild night in the Hamptons, but do you have any idea how the vibrator got in the chicken?
I have no idea how the vibrator got into the chicken salad, but what I do know, or what you didn't get to see, is that Dorinda brought vibrators to the party and she kind of handed them out. And so that scene kind of got clipped. So we don't know where the vibrator story comes from. I mean, you know, people must be wondering, I mean, is that like LuAnn's vibrator? Whose vibrator is that? But they were actually brand new. So that's the good news. And they came out of a box. How it got into the chicken salad, I have no idea.
The mystery for the ages. From the trailer, a lot of the women have issues with Dorinda this season, including you from the looks of it.
Something is really bothering Dorinda. I've sat and supported you my whole life. You're a coward. Sit your down. I never said that. You're a sick human being. Get over it. They got you had it. We want to help you. Don't you understand? There's a problem here. We want to help you, and you're not getting it.
When it came to your issues with her, did you treat her with kid gloves this season because your friendship had just come back together?
Dorinda and I have been fine this season. And then we got to the Berkshires, and I don't know what it is about that house, but there's always something that goes awry at that house. I have no idea what it is, but until then, we've been pretty good. But she gets into it with quite a few of us this season.
We can see in the trailer that Leah and Tinsley make out. What was your reaction to that?
I had no idea that the two of them made out because obviously I was either in another room or I had left already. So it was really funny to watch. I was like, oh, a little girl action, huh?
The trailer also shows Tinsley telling you that she's moving to Chicago. How much of a shock did that come to you?
You know, I wasn't shocked that Tinsley was going to go to Chicago to be with Scott. I'm happy for her because I know that's what she wanted. She wanted to, you know, be taken seriously by Scott. And I think now that, you know, they're engaged and they're going to get married, I think she finally found the right guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Tinsley found the right moment in time. I don't think that he was ready to commit. And I guess he changed his mind after he had to live a little bit without Tinsley. So I think Scott, you know, rose to the occasion.
Will viewers be surprised at how the Tinsley storyline plays out? Like, was it a big source of drama for everyone?
You know what? It wasn't a big source of drama for us. What was the big source of drama was her kind of sneaking around and not really talking to us about it. So, you know, and Dorinda seems to have more of a difficult time with it than we do. And yeah, I think it's her being dishonest kind of about seeing Scott. That was the problem more than anything.
Did your relationship with Ramona surprise you this season?
Ramona and I are actually getting along pretty well this year. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
she's become a lot nicer to me, Ramona, except for the basement.
The lower level.
The lower level.
You've both been on for 12 seasons now. What is it?
I think Ramona has softened up a little bit with me. I think that, you know, she used to be way more judgmental and harsh, and I feel like that she's gotten a lot softer as she's getting older.
In an interview with Extra, Bethany said the beginning of the premiere was the proverbial middle finger to her, and she also said the women have definitely said some unpleasant things to say about me, but, you know, I wish them well. What was your reaction to that?
My reaction is to Bethany that, look, she decided to leave the show. We wish her well. We, you know, that was her choice. And, you know, we didn't know. We found out like everybody else. So I think it would have been cool if she had let us know before we found out like the rest of the world. But you know what? I wish her success. And, you know, people are asking me, do you think she'll ever be back? And I'm like, I don't think so, but you never know. Never say never.
Yeah, I was going to say, in your gut, what do you think?
I don't think she'll be back.
Make sure to watch Countess LuAnn tonight and every Thursday on The Real Housewives of New York City at 9 p.m. Eastern on Bravo.
Guys, very excited. She was our very first Zoom when we started doing our shows from home. Laura Benanti is here. Laura, thank you so much for joining me again.
Thanks for having me. I'm so honored to have been your first.
And now here we are again in what in many ways feels like an eternity later. And in other ways, it seems like it's all gone by so fast. What's the experience been like for you?
It's some days feel like they will never end. And then other days feel like I blink and they're gone, but they all feel like the same day.
It all is the same day. You started this viral social media movement called Sunshine Songs. That's what we talked about before. People, kids, high school kids and things that we're going to get to do their big show of the year because of school shutting down, were submitting their videos with the hashtag Sunshine Songs. Are you still getting submissions? I mean, that's became quite a thing.
Oh yeah, no, we have over 6,000 submissions. The original post has been viewed like 4 million times or something. It's showing no signs of stopping, which I'm really grateful for. And now my friend Kate Dieter-Meride, who's a community activist, she and I are partnering with two senior organizations, Seniorly and K4 Connect, to bring what we're calling Sunshine Concerts to senior living communities. And then we're also, we reached out to children's hospitals. And now we have we have hundreds of thousands of senior living communities and hundreds of children's hospitals that we're going to be streaming these Sunshine Concerts to.
Wow.
Our first one is actually this Saturday, May 2nd at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be on our website, sunshinesongs.com. And you can go there to get all the information. There's even a little sunshine bill you can print out and a ticket you can print out if you want to make it like a real experience.
That's really fun.
Yeah, I'll be hosting it live. I'll be singing live, and then we'll show the concert. And I'll also be interviewing some of the seniors and some of the performers, one of whom is a 12-year-old girl named Tatiana, who's awaiting a heart transplant.
Wow.
And she's waiting a heart transplant and a donor. And she and her music therapist, Stephanie, they actually recorded Billie Eilish's song Heartbeat to the beat of Tatiana's current heart. So like the percussion is Tatiana's heartbeat. So
we're gonna hear stories like that. That's really incredible. We'll hear stories like that. We'll hear performances from you and from others. How can students get involved if they want to perform?
If they want to perform, they can email us at thesunshineconcerts@gmail.com. And all of this, again, is on our website, sunshinesongs.com.
Okay.
Learn everything about it.
And is that where people can watch, or is it's going to stream where again, just to be clear?
It's going to stream on sunshinesongs.com. You can just watch it right there. Or you can go to my YouTube page, Laura Benanti.
Perfect. You were planning on releasing your first studio album this year. How has all of this situation with isolating and everything else affected that? What's the plan?
I still plan on releasing it. I think we're unsure of the release date. It's all been recorded and ready to go for a while, but I did release my first single, which was a cover of the Jonas Brothers song Sucker, and 100% of my earnings go to Food Corps. which is a grassroots organization that's working full time to make sure that children who rely on their school cafeteria for the majority of their nutrition, which in the United States is 1 out of every 6 children, they're making sure that those kids don't go hungry. We were going to actually release a different single, but it just did not feel like the song to release during the middle of quarantine. So Sucker was the one that felt like the most upbeat. And we also did a music video that I'm really, really proud of, highlighting, you know, how we're all sort of living in quarantine, with a special emphasis on people being of service and our, you know, medical professionals working on the front lines. So we really wanted to make it sort of a time capsule and a love letter to them. So anywhere you can stream it and share it is great, because 100% of my earnings go to Food Corps.
Hey, your daughter joined you in that music video. 3 years old, right?
Did, yes.
Is she kind of, is it seeming like she's gonna follow in the family business here? Does she have the skills?
I'm afraid so. I think she might be a director though, because the other day, because she has me just playing pretend like 24 hours a day. I'm exhausted. And
it's like acting workshop to the extreme.
Yes, and I was playing an evil witch, which is what I constantly have to play. And she turned to me and she was like, "I just don't believe you're mad." I was like,
"That is so funny." I've
So-
seen you mad, and this is not it.
This is not it. Yeah, it's getting harder. She has not seen another child in 7 weeks. So she's just been in a house with 4 grown-ups.
So she's a creative, and that's what she wants to do to stay entertained all day, every day. Just play pretend.
She wants me to play pretend for her. She wants me to like dance monkey dance for sure.
So good. From 7 or so weeks ago when we talked to now, what's the biggest lesson you've learned during this whole thing? If you can narrow it down. I know it's on the spot.
The biggest lesson I've learned is that we are in control of very little other than our response to things. So I can't control coronavirus. I can't control who's wearing a mask and who isn't. I can't control the information being disseminated from the powers that be. I can't control any of that. What I can control is my immediate environment, so my family, and what I can control are my own thoughts and then my own behaviors. And so for me, like, being of service is a way that I feel a little more in control in this time of tremendous uncertainty. I've learned that, and I've learned that you can actually wear the same clothes for an entire week.
True story. Our basic thing at this point is like we changed from our daytime PJs to our nighttime PJs. It's like,
yeah, my dad calls it night to day wear.
So good.
And he always has, because he's always done that. He puts on clean clothes before he goes to bed, and then he wakes up and he's like, "Oh, it's morning time. I'm ready
He's
to go."
one of those people whose life hasn't really changed through isolation. It's like, this is how I always live, and I love it.
He like never leaves the property, so he's like, "What's the problem?" Loving it.
Laura, it's really good to talk to you.
So
Thank you
good
for
to talk
joining
to
us
you.
again, and congrats on all the good work you're doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Coming up tomorrow, Superstore's Lauren Ash joins us. We're cheersing to the weekend, and we're chatting about the show's unexpected finale.
He is so fun. Plus, Anika Noni Rose, who voiced Princess Tiana in Disney's Princess and the Frog, wants to help put your kids to bed. She's telling us all about her new weekly online series called Bedtime Stories for the Littles. I love when people call them littles. I think it's so cute. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.